Hi crafty friends, Shana from ShanoukiArt. I'm going to be making some very unusual index cards today. And I'm going to be working with some pages from these Collage soup books. There are very many books in the range with lots of different themes. I have these too. They are books full of beautiful collage papers to use in your projects. They are double-sided, about an A4 size, with beautiful images in vivid colors. I will put a link to Collage Soup where you can get these books in the description box below. I'm going to page through each book quickly just so you can get an idea of what you get, but the possibilities are endless. I selected this one. It had more of a vintage feel. I like the colors are more vintage-like, and also there's some of this hand script or text that is sort of part of the backgrounds that I really like. And of course, I love the botanicals and flowers. That one is Hodgins' Botany Journey. This one is called Duck Duck Goose. This is more abstract. It is more, I think, maybe gothic or steampunk style or black and white with a little bit of color here and there. I chose this one as I thought this would make great backgrounds for my art journaling. It has beautiful contrasts. Again, so many things you can do with these pages. If you're not new here, you know that I usually like to take you out of your comfort zone. Today's index cards are no different. I've also called this video Trust the Process because a lot of times when we're doing some kind of art journaling or a mixed media or collage, we get to a point and we think, oh, this is so ugly, I don't like it anymore, and maybe we put it to the side. But I believe if you keep at it and maybe even change it up a little bit, and if you trust the process, something beautiful comes out in the end. And if it doesn't work out in the end, that is also okay. Like I've said in previous videos, you don't have to love everything you make. It's all part of the learning process and how you develop your own style. I will get back to Duck Duck Goose later. Now I'm going to work on the base of my index cards. I'm going to combine multiple different techniques for this. I've recently been to Greece on a holiday, so now I have a Greek book that I got that I'm going to use as part of my collage background. I like the Greek writing. It's something different. I'm applying some glue stick on some parts of the index card, and then I'm sticking a piece of the book page over the glue stick. I'm putting mine sideways and upside down. I don't really mind which way it goes. You can put yours all straight if you prefer it all to be aligned. Once the glue is nice and dry, we're going to take the corners and peel off the excess paper. What is left behind is this, which is really beautiful. It sort of leaves some of the writing and some of the paper and gives it a really worn and vintage look. Today I'm going to work with blues. I've got some different mediums I'm going to use. I'm starting off with my Distress Oxide inks. I've got 3 different blues here. These are sprays. I'm not going to use them as sprays though. I'm going to use them in a couple of different ways. First, I'm going to apply some of the ink onto an acrylic plate. I'm going to add some water, and then I'm just going to smush my card on top of the color. This is one of my favorite methods of applying ink onto paper. If you don't have liquid ink, that's okay. You can also use ink pads. You can just press your ink pad onto the acrylic plate, add some water, and then smush your paper or card into that. You can spray additional water on the card to help spread the color around. You can also dip a paintbrush in and do some splatter. I have a lot of excess ink here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press a book page into the ink, and once that's dry, this will make some great collage paper. Another way to use the liquid inks is to drop them directly onto your work and then spray water and move the paper around and let the color move and flow. I'm adding lots of different colors here, as you can see, and what I'm doing is I am drying well between each application. I'm also going to add some watercolor powder in an ultramarine blue. This is the brand Brusho. I'm just going to sprinkle some and then spray water and let that color also flow. You're not really controlling where the colors are going. This is what I love about it. It's quite a free flow. Just add it and let the page do its thing. You can help guide it by moving the paper around or using a wet paintbrush just to help it flow around. I'm feeling this is a little bit dull, although there's so many different blues, because the oxide inks are a little bit more matte and chalky. So I'm going to add another bright blue. This is called Color Splash by Little Birdie Crafts, and I'm going to use a pipette to put some big drops here and there on the project. I'm now going to use my thin flat plastic spatula, and I'm going to put it close to my project and then snap it down onto the puddles of ink, so it makes like a big splashing design. You could really use anything for this, even a flexible ruler. And then I'm also adding a little bit of water just to help it flow. I'm really loving that pop of bright blue. There are lots of layers to this project. We're going to add some stamping and of course some gesso. You can add the gesso anywhere you like, a paintbrush, your fingers. I'm going to use a piece of cardboard. I'm going to cut it into a small rectangle with one flat end. I'm going to dip that into the gesso and then just scrape it along the surface of my artwork. Now, because I've used a piece of like corrugated cardboard, it is making some lines in the gesso, which I actually really like. Normally I use flat cardboard, so it has a smoother effect, but I'm liking this. And then I'm also using my finger just to smooth off the edges. I'm not covering the entire thing with gesso, just here and there, just to make some contrast, some lighter areas to contrast the darker ones, and to help blend certain areas. One of my other favorite things is splatter. I'm going to add some white splatter. For this, I'm using the Dilutions ink spray in white linen. I usually use watered down acrylic paint, but I remembered I had this, so I thought I'd use it. I'm now going to add some stamping. I'm using permanent black ink, and then my favorite stamp, which is the script stamp. By now you're probably thinking, wow, we have so many layers, this doesn't look like much, what on earth are we doing? But I say keep going and trust the process. I'm going to use my fine tip applicator bottle with my watered down black acrylic paint to make my little squiggles. People sometimes ask me if this actually says anything, and it doesn't. It really is just scribbles. And it's one of my favorite things to add to my project. We're now going to go into my Duck Duck Goose collage soup book and tear out the page that I'm going to use for this project. And then using another index card, I'm going to use it as a template to tear out a piece of this paper, the index card size. It's all beautiful, but I'm going to use this section specifically, and of course save all the other bits for another project. And then we're going to turn on the ShanoukiArt Crazy. We're going to tear this into 3. And then the index cards that we've just added the blue to, we're going to do the same. And then we're going to put them back together in a Frankenstein monster style. The original idea was to make 3 cards out of the one piece of collage soup paper and my 2 index cards. But when I was putting it together, I felt it was a little bit too busy. And I decided I wanted a little bit of white to get it a little bit more, I don't know if settled is the right word. So I've used an additional card just in plain white, and I'm going to add that as the 3rd piece. I'm using this other index card just as a template, just to make sure the size is right. I do want it an index card size. I just feel it's proportionate. I'm tearing out a few other little bits. I want some holes. I want some gaps in this. I think it makes it more fun. So each index card is going to have 3 different pieces: the plain white, the blue I created, and the black and white from Collage Soup. To keep the pieces together, I'm adding a little bit of glue on the overlapping bits. We are going to sew this eventually all the way around, but for now, just to keep the pieces in place, we're going to use a glue stick. I'm going to continue putting together my other two index cards using the plain one just as a template to measure, and then using the 3 different pieces, I'm cutting and tearing as I need. And although the overall size will be an index card size, there will be gaps and holes. I know some people would ask, what exactly would I do with this once I am done? And I would use this in an art or junk journal. There is some space to journal on the white area. You could also write just a prompt or a quote and then add it either stuck into a journal, or you could use a paper clip to attach it to a page. You could attach it as a page extension, just an additional piece of prettiness for your journal or even your scrapbook. This is also a great way to use up scraps. If you have different bits of projects left over, you can always put them together to create one piece, whether it be an index card style or even an ATC. I do love the idea of putting different things together to make something new, especially using pieces that are not your favorite or you feel that haven't worked out great. For this one, the bits aren't overlapping too much, so just to keep them together, I'm using a piece of masking tape. Once all my pieces have been assembled, I'm going to run these under my sewing machine. I'm just going to use black thread and regular running stitch, and I'm going to go all the way around each card, including the gappy bits. And it's going to look something like this. Look at those gaps. That's what I was looking for. Turn this over and I have this picture, which is a little creepy, but that's okay. I will do the same with the other two. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine to do this part, that's also okay. You can either do hand stitching, or if your gaps are a little smaller, you could actually staple things together. You could also use small strips of paper to attach the gaps. Let me know if you'd like me to show you in a video how to do this alternatively without using a sewing machine. I'm going to add some tabs to my index cards. I have the dies for the whale tail style tabs. If you don't have that, you can just hand cut them, and I'm just using the leftover blue bits of my project. I'm just going to see where's the best place to place these. Originally, I thought I would place it over the black and white area from the Collage super print, just so it's got a contrast, but then I didn't really like the tabs on the sides. So I've moved them all to the top, and I've just moved them around and found a good placement. When I say good placement, what I think looks okay, you might think it looks better elsewhere, and that is fine. Place it wherever you find that it makes you happy. I decided to remove the masking tape of this one, which was sort of holding things together. And then, of course, whoopsies, I did rip this one a little bit. That's okay. It's not a disaster. Trust the process. Once I've decided where my tabs are going to go, I'm going to glue them down. I'm adding adhesive. I'm using Mod Podge because it is on my desk and I use it for everything. It's just handy. I'm adding some of that and then placing the tabs in their position. After all that, I decided we do need to reinforce this, so I added the masking tape back just to keep it all together. It doesn't really matter what's happening in the back. I'm loving the way these look. I'm now going to add a focal point. So I'm going back into my collage book. I have these beautiful butterflies that I'm going to use. I love that they have that sepia kind of look and they're not colored. So I'm just going to fussy cut these out, one for each of the cards. Need to help to connect these backgrounds a little bit, so I'm going to use some black splatter. I'm using my watered down black acrylic paint and just adding a little bit of splatter over the entire project. My focal points will also need some kind of a support, I would call it, something just behind them. And I'm going to use my Greek book page again. I'm going to tear strips of this and then I'm going to run it under the sewing machine to create ruffles. So my strips are roughly about 2 centimeters wide, just the length of the book page. And then I'm using black thread on my sewing machine. And as the sewing machine goes, I just sort of push it with my finger underneath the foot of the sewing machine and we create these beautiful little ruffles. So I'm going to place one each widthwise along each of the cards, and then the butterfly will go on top of that. Once I placed the butterflies over, I realized we needed a little bit more color. So I thought I'll put some dark blue thread, sort of just bunched up underneath each butterfly. But once I placed the dark blue, I felt it was getting lost. It looked too much like the black. It was too dark and really wasn't making a difference. So then I thought I'll bring in some turquoise. There is some turquoise in my background, so that pop of color will be much better and more visible. And while I was editing this video, I actually thought what I should have done is used a totally different color, like a bright pink or a bright orange for the thread. That would have looked good too. I think I possibly need to make some more and do them that way to see how they'll look. I think that pop of color will look really, really great. I'll do one purple, one orange, and one pink with the same blues and black background. Before I stick all that down, I want to add a little bit more turquoise in the background just to enhance the turquoise thread. I'm using my color burst powders. They make a beautiful, beautiful turquoise color. I'm adding some water to that, and then I'm just going to splatter that across the entire project. Difficult to see in the video, but that does add a difference, and that bit of turquoise helps to connect to the turquoise thread that we've added. I'm now going to add my focal point. I'm going to use craft glue to attach the ruffle and the butterfly. You don't need to add any additional glue for the actual thread. Just place the thread down, and then the glue that you're going to use on the focal point will help stick everything down. One last finishing touch, I'm going to add some white splatter over the entire project, just a very little bit, but I wanted to also go on the butterflies. I think this will help connect everything. So we trusted the process, and this is what we got. I think they look amazing. I really hope you enjoyed this video and were inspired to create your own. Don't be afraid to try new things, to go out of your comfort zone. That is how we learn, and that is how we grow. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching. Happy creating, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.